So let's start out, Jason, with that time jump. I mean, shows do time jumps sometimes, but 6 years is a big one. Why did you decide, let's do this now? I mean, we've talked before about the show actually was a pretty condensed time period for the characters. So now you're leaping forward. What did it feel like? Okay, let's do this now.
Well, we talked a lot last season about how the world would not be survivable for 5 years. And so, because I know these guys hated wearing hazmat suits, I figured let's jump ahead so they could come out without hazmat suits.
Thank you.
Actually, the truth.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
It's
horrible.
And what can you say about that prisoner ship? Because that's a whole new element to add to the series at this point.
Well, without spoiling too much, the prison ship, they're from Earth. I think I've heard some speculation that maybe they weren't. And they're from our time, so they're from before the first apocalypse, which is a spoiler, but okay. And that means probably cryo. They were in hypersleep for 100 years. I think that was planted in certain episodes last year that they had that capability. So they've come back to this planet that they don't recognize, that it has been destroyed, and all that's left, twice, and all that's left is this Garden of Eden that Clarke's been living in with her daughter. And, it will not be big enough for everybody.
So, Eliza, let's talk about Maddie, who's not her biological daughter.
No, let's make that clear.
Yeah, but can you talk about, what did you think about the time jump when you heard they were doing it, and about this new character that's going to be so crucial to Clarke?
Well, I've been playing an 18-year-old for 4 years, since I was 23, so it's kind of nice to be playing someone a little close to my age, because I don't know how much longer we were going to get away with that. And yeah, it's just, I think it's exciting to see, it will be, to see us me as like a, 24-year-old woman who has gone through so much, and she's taking on this maternal role, looking after this little tiny nightblood.
Bob, when Clarke thought she might not make it, which turned out to be the truth, she kind of was passing on leadership to him, to Bellamy. He had gone through a lot up prior to that. Did you think this was a challenge he has risen to in those 6 years?
I'd like to think that he has. I think that he has taken on the advice of the head and the heart. I mean, from what I've been told, I don't know that much either, so I guess from what Jason has told me, if he can be trusted, Bellamy has grown up a little bit, I think. But yeah, that 6-year time jump's kind of crazy because it's only 6 months for us, but we've got to figure out what they've done for the last 6 years and find those characters again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a reset sort of for all you guys. And Marie with Octavia, I mean, she was put in charge of a lot of people. And we saw in the finale the insecurity she had about that. And she was a character who was so much sort of on the fringe and literally had to hide for most of her life. What do you think it's been like for her to now be in the spotlight in this way after all the sort of I'm the one, not the one?
I think Octavia doesn't have a clue what she's doing, but she doesn't want to, set off the chaos with the 1,200 people in the bunker, because it was her idea to have one crew and have this mixed bag of clans. And of course, they're not wanting to let go of previous animosities that they have towards one another. So just similar to the way she was trapped under the floor in the Ark, same thing is kind of going in the bunker, where you can't just run around and break the laws and cause riots. And in season 5, you'll see, in fact, what Octavia's plan is to keep the peace and how she reprimands others in her own special way for stepping out of line.
Ooh, special way.
Special Octavia way.
It won't be a peaceful way, possibly. Lindsey, I feel like every season I say Raven's been through a lot, but she has been. But now, I mean, we saw in that finale, how essential she was just saving them, getting off the planet. Do you think that in this situation they've been in all these years that she sort of thrived? I mean, I would feel, it's a small group up there, but she would be a very key member of that group.
Duh, Eric. Raven is so special because she is so smart, and she, is a key ingredient, I feel, in the 100 mix and for their survival. But I think also,
though Raven's so smart, you know, her heart weighs on her a lot. The only reason why everyone is in space is because of Raven. Raven's like, I'm gonna kill myself. No, not like that. She was just like, more like, can someone come pick me up because I want to go to the bunker? And her friends are like, yeah, of course, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And oops, we're stuck now. What do we do? So I think Raven feels a lot of responsibility for everyone's well-being to be saved, and that's why, you know, her taking them to space in the finale was so important for her. And now in space, it's a lot for her to make sure that everyone's survivable and that we can hopefully get back down to the Earth once it's habitable again.
Mm-hmm. And Richard, you kind of like Octavia, you were Murphy was an outsider character for a long time. That started to change a lot last season. He was sort of making amends with Raven, right in the yeah, come on. And then we saw him and Monty sort of try to work some stuff out. You know, do you think that?
That's why you sat me beside them. Okay. This is really convenient.
I feel like that's a character that will especially be fascinating to see after those 6 years, because now he was with these people. Do you think that he might be really changed from all this?
100%. I mean, I think all of us have to change up there. Like you said, the 6-year jump is a great challenge, but it's also really freeing in a lot of ways, and kind of taking the shackles off of you of all the decisions you've made with the character over 6 years. I mean, a lot of therapy can happen in that time, so you can leave behind a lot of what we've been doing, or keep some of it if you want. But obviously, he's going to change because he's so good in kind of like the pressure cooker situations and thriving with his life on the line every day. And now in space, it's more so just living day to day and just making it to the time they can go back home. That's very different for him, so I'm curious to see if, now that he has nothing to kind of like fight against, can he really just be part of a happy family? And I'm curious to see how that goes.
Is he bored?
He's a little bored.
Troublemaker?
Yeah, he's gonna find a way to have some fun.
You know, Chris, you know, it is funny when you think about the timeline of the show, because it was just a few months for the characters. So it's like, thinking that was a tough few months for Monty. Found out his dad died, had to shoot his possessed mom, his best friend died in his arms. You know,
what's your question?
What? Does it suck to be Monty? No, my question is actually about Harper and Monty, and just the fact that, you know, would that make that connection even stronger given sort of all the loss that he's gone through?
I think that Harper is Monty's main lifeline at the current moment, and has been for 6 years. I think, given the loss of Jasper, if he'd lost Harper as well, I'm not sure he would have made it out of Arcadia. So I think that he owes her his life, and she chose him, and I don't know what the result of the last 6 years has been. I hope they're still together, but even if they're not, I hope they at least gave it everything they had, because I think they deserve that. And who knows, maybe Monty and Murphy are together now. It's been 6 years.
We can pray.
A lot can change in 6 years. Dean, this is such an ambitious show. You know, you look at the finale and how much it had going on. Is it just a continuing fun, but also crazy challenging thing to work on this series and to see how much they throw at you and how much they're doing within, you know, 44 minutes a week?
You guys haven't met him before, but this man is like very responsible, as well as Jason, for the kick-ass show that is The 100.
Yeah.
Well, you guys all love, yeah?
You know, one episode that really stands out to me this past season, in the entire series actually, is Die All, Die Merrily, which is the Octavia and the Conclave episode. In typical 100 fashion, it was also pretty merciless. We lost a lot of notable characters. Jason, at what point developing season 4 did you know that you wanted to do that story, that episode?
Pretty early on. That was kind of, you know, every season we have these tentpole moments that we're aiming for. That was the big one of the big ones last year. It was written by Aaron Wade, Ginsberg and McIntyre, great writers. My number 2's on the writing staff. And Dean directed the hell out of it. It's really just, it's as good as we've got. You know, I mean, I think it was, everything came together. Marie was awesome. She really worked her ass off to get, probably more screen time than she's ever had. And, you know, when I look at that, I feel like we've done this now for 5 years. The team in Vancouver is amazing. Everybody's sort of, all the actors are dialed in. It's really fun to be working on a show now where we know what we're doing, we know, you know, what we can do, we know how far we can push, and I don't try to push too hard, Dean. But ultimately,
Why?
it's my job to kind of like to try to challenge everybody, so we can have this sort of epic television show. So.
That episode was also sort of a key one for Echo, who I don't think anyone could have guessed where her path was going to go.
Yeah.
You talk about, what you decided to do with her there and how things sort of changed for her there.
I think instead of me answering that, why don't we bring out a special guest, Tasya?
Tasya Teles, who plays Echo, new series regular of 100. Hello there, Tasya.
Hello there.
So yeah, let's. I was saying, I don't know if you heard it because you guys were cheering. Tasya is now a series regular on the show. Echo, the girl in the cage in season 2. A lot has changed of what we think of her, what we know about her. What's it been like for you to kind of track her this entire way and see where she's gone?
Hello. It's been amazing. Every time we got a script, I was always nervous to explore more into Echo and give life to that character, because she was always a character that I felt really strongly about. She was sassy, she was cool. I loved it when she spat in Bellamy's face when they first met.
Yeah, I loved it. That was so good.
And we had to practice that one a few times.
What did Echo eat for breakfast?
That was years ago. I don't remember.
That's a meet cute.
You got one too. Octavia got one too this year.
I got the biggest loogie ever in the face from you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who will spin in Bellamy's
You're welcome.
face in season 5?
Stay tuned.
But yeah, it's been incredible. It's been amazing.
Lindsey, I referenced this line when I introduced you, but yeah, this is Raven Reyes and I'm Alive was such a great moment on the show. Let's talk about that episode, the other side, which was, another Raven Goes Through Hell episode. But what was it like to film that and that entire sequence in the water, crawling across the floor?
That episode, I feel like, I'm so in love with this show because for my own selfish actor needs, because they constantly challenge me very physically, emotionally, just acting purely. And that episode was a hell of an episode because I'm in this tank I have to be freezing to death and have these really emotional goodbyes of my figments of my imagination because I'm losing my mind. And then I kill myself, and then I resurrect it with the electric shock underwater and have a heart attack and throw myself over a tank and crawl to a defibrillator that's across the, you think I'd put it a little closer, across the room with small little stickers on it, stick it in the right place, and jolt my heart back to life because of my heart murmur. And then walkie-talkie my friends. It was insane, but it was honestly like, Ian Cusick directed that one, and he was with me every step of the way, and it was, we did some really cool things to where I'm just I was coming back on the ground, and he would walk me through this imaginative story about what I'm going through in my mind, and it was kind of a surreal experience that I just feel like no other show I'm gonna be able to get to do that. Like Marie, it's a dream job. So when do you do that? Never! So it's been, I wouldn't call it hell. It's been heaven? In an actor way.
A weird
yeah,
twist
in
in
a
heaven.
nerdy actor way.
That's certainly something that this cast goes through more than any cast really I've ever worked with. We do so much physical stuff on the show.
Yeah.
A lot of them do 80%, 90% of their own stunts, which is kind of amazing. The weather in Vancouver starts out really hot, and then it gets rainy, and then it gets snowy and cold, and we're out in it 14 hours a day. So, and never once. I mean, they're pros, and it's really been fun. Yeah.
I believe last year, sitting on this very stage, Richard and Chris, there was a lot of talk at other panels too about lamenting that you two never worked together. Yeah. So what was it like to finally get to work together? And the fact is that your characters had to deal with some old issues because they hadn't been on screen together.
Yeah, I mean, the one time we'd been together before season 4 was I just tried to kill his best friend for coughing.
Yeah.
Typical Murphy.
Stand up.
Yeah, so of course I think that was where we had to, that was the one thing we had, so we had to play with that. And I'm pretty sure we forced Jason's hand with that one by forcing us to have
I'm
some
so
screen
glad
time.
you did.
I love
It was great. Oh, yeah, we had a great time.
It's
Yeah.
funny, there's so many actors in the cast that it's hard to find, that surprised me that they had never been in a scene together.
Yeah.
So when I wrote the scene, I did have to sort of go back to the beginning and sort of call back to that moment in episode, what was that, episode 103?
103, yeah, because
Yeah.
it was the one that Bellamy was out of the camp, and I took it
Right.
myself to be the leader.
Yeah, you did not do well.
Things went, they went pretty good. Chris, how do you feel about me?
I plead the fifth. No, it's been great. It's been great, Richard. I'm glad we finally got screen time. This is our little year anniversary. Okay.
Season 5 preview.
The 100, it's a soap opera. Different network.
You get bored in space.
Tasya, can you talk about, because Echo, these people do not have a lot of reasons to trust Echo. Clearly, it was a very tense situation, even her joining them. So, I don't know how much you know about what it's going to be like, the 6-year jump, but are you excited to see how things have developed? Because that's so much time that it's just been this small group of people spending together.
Yeah, I actually think about that a lot, like who should become friends with. I was thinking, would she become friends with Louisa? Or would she become friends with, I was thinking she'd be close to Raven for some reason.
Yeah.
Because I feel like these two girls are girls that get things done. They're very resourceful. I just see those two becoming friends and having alliances, whereas Monty, they'd be friends.
6 years is a long time. We'll see
Yeah, we'll see
people
where
get
it goes.
together, break up, get back together.
Break
Casual
up.
sex,
Break up.
Not so casual.
Get together.
That's the thing. Jason, I don't ask the shipping questions.
Okay.
That's not my deal. But 6 years,
You
just
ship.
a few people on a rocket.
On the
Most of them
ship.
went in as couples. 3 of them were not part of a couple. How might things have changed?
Like I said, people break up, people get back together, people fool around. I mean, they do have 6 years of time to kill, and there's not a lot to do on a space station. So
Get bored in space.
that's the end of my comment about
All
that.
right.
Yeah.
Lonely in space.
It does get lonely. Raven's really lonely.
Oh,
Raven's so lonely.
and then I have to ask, I asked you this when I spoke to you when the season ended, but, whether it be the bunker or the rocket, is there a baby that's going to be showing up? I know you wouldn't say who it would be from.
Oh, I've never thought about that.
Well, no, seriously. But Clarke has one, sort of. She didn't have to get pregnant, but she has a baby. She has a child. She has a bond that's that important.
We're going to go to audience questions in a few minutes, but I have some questions from Twitter I'm going to ask. Randy Fox asked, is everyone going to undergo a change in appearance to emphasize the 6-year jump, like how Clarke cut her hair and colored part of it? Will there be some eye patches, some robo legs?
It's actually fun because usually we're picking right back up where we left off, except for I think the one season where we found Clarke killing panthers and trees. And so they're literally, these guys go off on their hiatus and they do movies or they relax and they do whatever they do and they grow their hair and they cut their hair and they dye their hair. We got to get it back to where it was, at that exact moment. But this season is different, and I've really talked to all of them about what do they want, because anything is possible after 6 years. So I'm open to it. Bob and I have been talking.
Yeah, look, I had some kind of crazy ideas last night. We'll go back.
Well, it's funny you say that.
Liza's is dialed in already.
Yeah, I'm already
Everybody
set.
else is,
You've been pressuring me for some weird hairdo. Do you want to share with them?
No, I don't, but your hair is going to be awesome.
You clearly don't like it.
We've yet to.
I didn't agree to it yet.
I know.
Well, Bob, I also got a specific, because other people asked about the appearance change, but I got a very specific one from @EternalBaby saying, will Bellamy have a beard or a mustache?
Yeah.
I like the idea of a giant mustache.
Barry's back.
That's what we've been talking about.
Bring Barry back.
I can't really.
Yes. Right. Bring getting
I
married.
mean, yeah, I'd love to have my mustache, but I can't really grow a beard, so, we're kind of discussing that now and factoring it into the beard budget.
I'll donate my shaved
We don't have
head
a beard
hair
budget,
so you
Bob.
can make a beard wig.
You can have this big sideburns.
I could have big mutton chops.
Oh, yeah.
Elvis inspired.
Yeah?
Why not?
I approve.
Let's leave it up to the fans. What should Bob do with his hair?
We'll do a poll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down with a sweet mustache. But, yeah. Sweet stash. Yeah?
Open on a close-up of him brushing his mustache.
Yeah, just,
Just waxing it. Yeah. I mean, I'm open to it. How about you, Jason?
To a mustache? Yeah, sure.
That's just like we cut to 6 years later and Bellamy's just like combing. That's his thing now. It's like, no, I can't hear the radio. I'm busy.
At Relaven asked that it seems inevitable that we get flashbacks during the 6-year time jump. Would that be how the season starts? Does it start from right where we left off? Might there be some flashbacks catching us up?
Yeah, there'll be flashbacks for sure. There's a lot of very pivotal, emotional, intense moments that we will have missed in that 6-year period, and I think it's important to see some of them. I'm not going to spoil the premiere yet, but we will come to understand how all of them became the characters that we will see in the premiere and beyond. So yes, that does include flashbacks.
Hi, I'm Jonah, and what I was wondering is that all the characters on the show are so complex, they have a lot of different layers. So I was wondering, what's your favorite attribute or character trait of your character?
Oh, so many. No, I don't know. I love Clarke's resilience, I guess. That's something that I like, and there's a lot of selflessness to her, which makes me happy. So, how about you?
I admire Bellamy's resilience to be able to get up every day, even though he's made so many poor choices, and still try and persist and get things done. But the thing that I personally like about him the most is his ability to hold on to guilt. I mean, honestly, it's kind of fun to play in that realm and everything's so weighted down. So as an actor, I like it when he's in tune with that part of himself. So yeah. It sounds morbid, but it's
I like how incredibly flawed Octavia is, and she's always brave in the face of fear. I like that about her.
I love Raven's will. I feel like when she puts her mind to something, she is unstoppable, and it's admirable that because I think for me it's like I'll get bogged down, but Raven Reyes never gives up, ever. I love it.
I don't want to steal it because it's kind of similar to, something else. It's kind of similar to will or resilience, but I'd say his relentlessness. It's not even like a calculated resilience, it's just this pure, like, animalistic will to continue whatever rage he's on them.
Cockroaches
and I
never
love
die.
that. Exactly, cockroaches never die.
Never die.
He's like a wild dog, and I love him like that. It's great. It's great. It is.
It's like a wild dog.
Sexy.
Good
dog.
dingo. Dingo?
That's a sexy animal.
Did you all know that Monty can make alcohol from scratch? He's making moonshine in like 3 weeks down on the ground. I think that's pretty cool.
Is that your favorite characteristic?
Yes.
I think I like Echo's strength and her loyalty the most. She never backs down from a fight. She's always protecting her clan first. And yeah.
Thank you very much. Next question, please.
Hi, I'm AJ. You guys keep giving me heart attacks with like all this near-death stuff. I can't take it. But I hope you guys never die. But if you do, how would you want to go out?
Now you're asking the characters, right?
Oh yes.
someone else jump in this time?
I want to go out the way Raven would go out in space. So.
There you go. We are talking about characters.
Well, I also would
Characters.
We gotta
You
go.
personally would
That
like
would,
that?
that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'd be down with the space thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback that one.
Shatter.
I want Bellamy to kill him. I think we've come a long way. But I think if there had to be, if I like do like a double turn or something.
Oh, right.
And you have to just put me down, and I think that'd be pretty.
It's like a.
We've come a long way. Like
a
I feel like
mercy
it's,
kill,
it's
or
right.
a-
Yeah. One way or another. I think it would
Singles
be right.
here,
It would be
mercy
right
kill.
for one of us to kill
Yeah.
the other eventually.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I'd like for Bellamy to just have a misstep and fall off the edge of a cliff. Oh,
That's great.
just saying something like he would.
Yeah.
Who's hungry?
I think Octavia would like to just fall off her horse mid-gallop and like get stepped on or something. It would hurt her ego less than to get taken out by somebody else. Yeah.
God, I don't know. I mean, realistically, Clark's would be some sort of grand self-sacrifice, I think, wouldn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it would. It's not that funny, but it's true.
And you wouldn't go out alone, probably.
No.
Like a genocidal.
Yeah.
Chris, Tasya?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Space.
Okay, that's not it. I'd like for Echo to put Monty in a sleeper hold and then accidentally take him out.
No one's on like old age. Like no one's like natural.
I'd change, I'd change it just peacefully in his sleep.
Peacefully to yeah, said it.
I like your costume, by the way.
Thank you very much. Next question.
Raven.
Hey. Okay, I'm Kat. Hi. So we know that 6 years has passed and Clarke is now a mom. But I was just wondering, what type of parenting style does Clarke have? And it has been 6 years, so all of you might be surrogate parents. What type of parenting style will your characters have?
Clarke's a cool mom.
Yeah, I'm a cool mom.
Cool mom.
Let her get her ears
let her play
pierced,
the
and
Yeah.
yeah, that was like at age 5, we're like, okay, now this is a rifle.
It's a little Sarah
This is
Connor
how to
mom.
drive a rover.
It's a little Sarah Connor, Sarah Connor Terminator, like
Yeah.
you raised her to be
To
worried.
be prepared.
Just in case.
Yeah. So
Did a better job with her than with Charlotte. We were terrible.
we were
parents with Charlotte.
terrible parents to Charlotte. Poor Charlotte.
You can tell that she's, by that sizzle reel though, that she's telling her some nice stories that also end with, murder and death. So,
Yes, exactly.
in the Clarke way.
Yeah.
Thank
No
you.
TV, there's no movies. Clarke has been telling stories of these guys. These are Maddie's heroes when we start the season. So that'll
She's going to be so let down when she sees us.
Like, you're Bellamy? with that mustache.
I was just wondering, now that the show has kind of come full circle with the original Ark residents being the Grounders, what parallels are we going to see between season 1 and the upcoming season?
That's a really good question. Yeah, one of the things that excited me about this idea of bringing these prisoners into the world was that 5 seasons ago, these guys were the prisoners, and now Clarke is the grounder in the woods who's watching these people step out. Very different cast of characters that they're about to have to deal with, but that parallel will continue for sure. We'll play with that quite a lot this season. And they'll realize it, and I think Bellamy's gonna have to help Clarke come to see that, we have to do things differently now. Because she just wants to protect her child. She just wants to protect her home, so.
Thank you very much. I see
There you go.
some familiar faces.
Can I hold your baby?
Hello.
It's Maddie.
We're working on a Maddie costume.
Yes.
Our question is, 6 years is going to be a long time to sit around in a big tin can, whether you're underground or...
I'm sorry, I'm so distracted by your child.
She wants to come meet you.
She's coming. She's coming. She's the boss. You can tell.
Introducing our newest series
By the
regular.
way, this is why we have no babies on the show.
Right. Well, we've got one if you need it.
Right.
Oh,
She's used to the character looked up. What the characters look like, so.
Hello. Get around.
Right up in the front.
Hi, baby.
The light is like drawing her in.
Hello.
We have a running theory that certainly Miller and Jackson are going to get together with some of the Grounders and form a WWE league. So what other kinds of hobbies do you think your characters are going to put together to pass the time, whether you're in space or
hobbies.
other hobbies?
Do we get a pick? Jason? Or do I
I think that was for you guys. Why don't you pitch some stories?
I think like old habits die hard, and then you just go back to being a janitor and start brooming again. He's just really all about the cleanliness. Yeah, that's gonna be spick and span.
Yeah, it's gonna be mustache and a broom.
Yeah, mustache and a broom. Like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
You know, in the film?
Which
was it? I Got to Break Free? Where he's the...
And that's also our
Have you seen
musical
the video? Yeah. Anyway. Whatever.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I think I would like Raven for her to learn to fight. You know, you don't really see Raven get to do too much combat, so I think
You
that'd
will.
be a-
Oh, very ominous.
Jason.
Sorry.
Who said that?
Who said that? I knew it.
You will.
All right then. I'm good.
All right, I think this will be our final question.
Hey guys, I'm Shalise. Yeah, Marie.
Nice talk.
Whoa.
You've got the sigils even.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, my confirmed kills here.
You're winning.
Yeah, I won.
You won.
I won. Yes. My question is actually, since you talk about fighting, I was curious how often you get to rehearse before you fight, what the process is to kind of learn the fights, and then like, I put this on today and this seems hard to fight, and like, do you get to wear this?
How did you do that?
Before you actually shot, or was this like step into it and wield the sword kind of thing?
These are very good questions. The cool thing is about sword fighting, to basically put it in a quick nutshell here, is that it's kind of like learning dance. Like you learn a dance routine and that's the way it is, and because it's all numbered out and we do it slowly. And I've named all the moves, so I write them down, and when I get home, I was given a wooden sword as a gift, and I just sit in my living room and I practice. So one's called like fillet the salmon, I call another one. It's like silly names, so I remember it, and that's how I memorize my fights. But sometimes you get a ton of time, and sometimes you don't if schedules change and stuff. But you really just, I don't know. I'm really good at a really useless life skill. I'm a good sword fighter now. Yeah.
There's always stunt rehearsal. We have, we find time on days when they're not working or at the end of days when they're not doing the stunts to go over to Marshall Virtue, who's our stunt coordinator and has been since season 1 and is amazing. And he puts them through their paces and they rehearse. Sometimes we don't have time for that. She's right, and then they just make the stuff up on the day.
But on the big ones for sure, we do it because look, if safety is always an issue, with the stunt work. So on the big stunt sequences like in Die I'll Die Merrily, each one of those was a little dance. The director, who was me on that one, works with Marshall and says, this is kind of what I'm thinking, I want it to look like this. He goes and rehearses with the stunt guys, shows it to me, videotapes it and shows it to me. I go, I like that, but change that. And then he brings these guys in and they get to learn it. And then I look at it again, I say, yeah, that's exactly what I want, and we show up on the day. Sometimes it's exactly what we rehearsed. Sometimes Marie will say, well, can I do it like this? And so we'll change 1 or 2 little moves. That's basically how it goes.
I just want to see a clip of Marie in her living room, like playing Sam like a total loser. I want to send it to me.